fighting for freedom and democracy around the world, and inclusiveness and peace and law and order in the United States. The rule of law has crumbled, and he's been assaulting that ever since he got in. But certainly, yes, he's ramped it up. He becomes bolder and bolder. And his enablers, seem to tolerate more and more in terms of, what they're willing to be remembered in history for. They clearly are like the Nazi enablers at this stage of the game. Given what's going on in Greenland, around the world, and in Minneapolis, and soon elsewhere.
Liz, we're going to get to some pardons that happened, because I know Jackie wants to ask about that. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting, concerning, depressing, was Trump kind of making that joke-ish, or according to the White House, a joke about the midterm elections. Let's play what Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said about that.
The president was simply joking. He was saying, we're doing such a great job, we're doing everything the American people thought, maybe we should just keep rolling. But he was speaking facetiously.
What is funny about maybe canceling elections in a country that began because a king was making decisions for people without any kind of their say? So I don't think it's funny. I think other people don't think it's funny. That's not how this country is supposed to operate. And also, Donald Trump's jokes often become our reality.
I think also, like, on the merits, it's not that funny.
Right, correct. It's like, if it's going to be funny, be funny.
It's not funny. So what's happening here is they say something, he says something, they see how it lands, and if it doesn't land well, they say, oh, it was a joke. And we're seeing so many outrageous, unbelievable things being said by Trump and the people around him that we should be able to take seriously what they say, and we shouldn't have to guess, are they going to say later it was a joke? One of the things that was said this week that I thought was just absolutely chilling, shook me to my core, was to see Todd Blanche tweet that he believes the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis are engaged in terrorism. And it's just another example of these extreme statements. I mean, terrorism, because they are speaking up against overreach by ICE, and Blanche has now said that they are the targets of an investigation by the Justice Department rather than the person who killed this woman, Renee Good. The things that are being said by our leaders are just extreme and outrageous. And if we don't know whether we can take them seriously, that is really just an upsetting place to be.
I choose to always take them seriously.
The other thing about going after the governor and the mayor is that in addition to pushing back against the administration, they also said in the same breath to the people of Minnesota and Minneapolis, please be peaceful.
Right.
Like every third sentence, it was please be peaceful, which makes this challenge to them even more outrageous. Ty, you were there in the first Trump administration, and in that time, Time Magazine, is it Time Magazine? No, New York Times, I'm sorry. In 2021, there was a headline, Trump aides prepared Insurrection Act order during debate over protests. These were the protests that erupted around the country, and particularly here in Washington over the murder of George Floyd. And now here we are with the Washington Post reporting today, Pentagon readies 1,500 soldiers to possibly deploy to Minnesota. Again, since you were there in the first administration,